like if you found the video valuable. When Evelyn Ross returned to Milford after nearly 2 decades, she hadn't intended to stay. A few weeks at most, she told herself. Help her sister pack up their late mother's house, attend the estate matters, and leave again. But that was before the clock rang. The sound struck at precisely midnight, a deep, echoing chime from the town's old tower. Startling, unfamiliar. It hadn't made a noise since the night Daniel Webb was murdered. Back then, Evelyn had been a junior reporter, fresh out of college, working for the Milford Times. She'd covered the Webb case, first a tragic death, then a mystery, and finally, a cold file. The murder was never solved. The only person ever suspected was Daniel's wife, Margaret Webb. The widow Webb, the townsfolk called her, always with a pinch of fear. The clock's sudden chime stirred memories Evelyn had buried, of unanswered questions, of a widow who never cried, and of a town that moved on too easily. And so, curiosity led her back to the tower square. The next day, Evelyn visited the clock tower's caretaker, a grizzled man named Pete who wore the same oil-stained overalls she remembered from her reporting days. "Clock's been dead for years," Pete muttered. "No gears, no weights, no mainspring. That chime shouldn't have happened. Then what did we hear last night?" He didn't have an answer. Evelyn started asking around. Most residents chalked it up to rust, wind, or imagination. But when she spoke to Margaret Webb, something shifted. Margaret, now frail and near blind, still lived in the same ivy-covered house near the churchyard. She welcomed Evelyn with a thin-lipped smile and served tea in delicate porcelain cups. "I heard it too," Margaret said calmly, stirring her tea with steady hands. "The clock. You haven't heard it in 15 years. I always knew it would ring again, when someone was ready to listen." That night, Evelyn couldn't sleep. The words rattled in her mind like marbles in a jar. So she returned to the tower, flashlight in hand, and climbed its winding staircase. The air grew colder the higher she climbed. Dust coated everything. When she reached the top, she found nothing unusual, except a small envelope wedged into the frame behind the old bell. Her name was on it. Inside, a single page. The truth was never buried, it's in the gears, in time. Ask her about the letter. No signature. The next morning, Evelyn returned to Margaret's house. "Who left me that message?" Margaret didn't flinch. "It's time you knew." She reached into a drawer and pulled out a faded envelope, sealed and yellowed with age. "Daniel wrote this the night he died." Evelyn opened it carefully. "If anything happens to me, it won't be an accident. I found something at the council meeting tonight. Ledgers, hidden money, names. Someone's stealing from this town. I'm going to expose them. If I don't make it back, tell the papers. Tell Evelyn Ross." Her name, written 15 years ago. Daniel had trusted her. "Why didn't you show anyone this?" Evelyn asked, voice trembling. Margaret stared at the window, her eyes distant. "Because the people in those ledgers, they run this town. They still do. And I couldn't protect you back then." Evelyn sat in silence. Outside, the clock stood still and silent once more. "Until tonight."